Hello students, this is lesson 3-3, rotations. Please put your name, date, and period. Your essential question for today is, what are the properties that identify a rotation? What are the properties that identify a rotation? The vocabulary or vocabulario is angle of rotation, ángulo de rotación, center of rotation, centro de rotación. I can draw and describe the rotation of a figure about a point of rotation for a given angle of rotation. This is example 1. Draw a rotated image. How can you perform a 75-degree rotation of triangle XYZ about point P? So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to connect a line from X to P. So use your straight edge or protractor to do that. Then you're going to grab a protractor and you're going to place the protractor, the 0 at P, and then rotate your protractor so that it lines up with the line XP. Okay, so the bottom of my protractor is lined up. It doesn't want to. I'm just going to make it bigger so that it can. It's pretty close. I think it's because I didn't draw my line straight enough. Okay. Now I want to rotate that line 75 degrees. So that is going to be, I'm starting at X. I think I'm starting at X, or am I starting at P? Yeah, I'm starting at X and I'm counting X to be 0, right? So that's my 0 degrees. So I'm going to count 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 75. Puts me right here. And that is, if I measure from X to P, then that'll be the distance that I want to go, which is right here. You're going to need to use a ruler to figure out that distance to make the distance equal to the distance XP. So let me move my protractor out of the way here. And then you would measure XP, and that would be what you get for this line. Oh no! Okay, so I'm connecting P to this point, and that will be my X prime. Next, we are going to figure out the line from Y to P. Just go in order, X, Y, Z. And then I need to put my protractor on P again. Sorry. So P will be here, and I'm going to rotate my protractor so that it is that same angle. My protractor 0 is at P, and then it goes to Y. From there, I figure out where is 75 degrees from Y. So y is starting at 0, so I'm going to count 10 from y, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 75. And that's going to be somewhere over here. And I'm just going to mark it. You can even mark it out here on the edge of the protractor. It doesn't matter. And then you're going to move your protractor to measure how far is it from y to p. And you can do that in centimeters. I get to use the protractor because I can write over my protractor. You don't have that capability, so you just have to measure it with a ruler. But then you can see if you measured yp, then from p to y prime should be the same distance. And it's going to be, when you're measuring it, you're going to use this mark that you made from your protractor. Next, I'm going to measure or draw a line from Z to P. And then I'm going to grab my protractor. And I'm going to put my protractor 0 at point P. And I'm going to rotate my protractor, hopefully, if it lets me. I'm going to rotate it so that the line of my protractor lines up with that red line, PZ. Okay? Then I need to measure 75 degrees from Z. So Z is at 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 75 is right here. And you may want to mark that on the outside of your protractor so you know where 75 degrees is. And then you're going from P, you want to measure P to Z. However far P to Z is, that's going to be where you put your dot 75 degrees away. Then I'm going to connect my P to that dot, and that dot is going to be Z prime. The next thing that we need to do is connect our 3 new points, X to Y, Y to Z. Whoa, that's not what I want. And back to X. And what you should get is an equivalent, sorry, this moved away, I'll put it back. You should get a congruent triangle to XYZ. It's just rotated 75 degrees. So that's kind of fun, using the protractor to do that. And if you want, you can try doing it with another shape. Like you could draw something else that you try to rotate. And then you could go from each point. You would have a point that you rotate around, point P, and then you could take your protractor and try to put it at 0. You would need it to connect to a point first, so let me grab my pen. You'd have to connect these points, and then you could choose, maybe you wanted to rotate it 100 degrees. You would just do the same steps. So if you want more practice with this, you can try it at home. If you have a protractor, you can come after school and I'll do another one of these with you. But let's say I wanted to rotate that point 100 degrees. So I would be starting at the point, I'd go to 100, which is right here. And I would make it the same length, which would be about here. And then that would be 100-degree rotation of just that point. I'm not going to walk through all of the points. I just want to show you that if you want to practice this on your own, you have the capability to do it. For example 2, we will draw rotations in the coordinate plane. And the question is asking, what is rotation 90 about the O, which is the origin? So the origin is right here, and we want to do a 90-degree rotation around the origin. Well, there is a rule for that, which is down here, and it says that if we want to make a 90-degree rotation, this is what we do to the coordinates. So a rotation of 90 degrees about the origin means that we're going to switch the x and y, and we will make the y negative. So to start this, what we need are all of the points. So point A is at the coordinate. See if you can figure out where the coordinate A is right here. So that's 3, 5. Now it's going to change to A prime. What we're going to do is switch the coordinates x and y, so it's going to be 5, 3, but then we have to make the y opposite. So we make it negative 5, 3. And then we will plot that point. So I'm going to go negative 5. I'm going to go up 3, and that's our A prime. Now we're going to do the same thing for B. So B is right here. That's at 1, 7. So B is at 1, 7, and it's going to go to B prime. We're going to switch the coordinates, so 7 and 1, and we're going to make the y negative. Well, I mean, it's in the x position now, but it used to be the y. So now it's negative 7, 1. We go left 7, and we're going to go up 1. So this is B prime. Now we're going to do the same thing for C. C is right here, so that's at negative 2, 4. So C is at negative 2, 4. And it is going to become C prime. So we switch the coordinates, 4, negative 2, and then we have to make the first number opposite, so negative 4. All right, so that means we're going to go to negative 4, and we're going to go down to negative 2. That's C prime. Let me grab another color. Maybe I'll do purple. D is at the point 2, negative 1. And so we will switch the x and y position. So it'll be, well, it's not going to be negative 1, it's going to be positive 1 because it's opposite. And the x stays 2. That would be graphed here at right 1 up 2. So that is our D prime. Now I'm going to connect all of those dots and see if it looks like we rotated this figure 90 degrees. About the origin. And what we could do is we could take some tracing paper and we could trace figure A, B, C, D. And we could put a pencil here at the origin, and we could hold our paper there and see if we spun our paper around, would it end up where this new figure is at. So that is a rotation of 90 degrees about the origin. I have placed this concept In your notes, it's called rotations in the coordinate plane. And the reason I've done this is because it's very important to know these angles of rotation, the rules for them. So if it's a 90-degree rotation about the origin, the coordinates switch places and the y becomes negative. If it's a 180-degree rotation about the origin, then the x and y stay in their spot here in their coordinate point, but they become negative. And then if it's a 270-degree rotation, then the x and y switch places and the x becomes negative or opposite. So this is a good thing to keep note of and use it as a reference. You could also always Google what the rules are for these rotations. So you could Google rules to rotate about the origin. And these rules should come up for you.